Sometimes people don't realize how much they have been given until they finally feel empty. Not empty because they don't love anymore, but empty because they have been pouring from themselves for so long without being refilled. And the truth is, many people didn't become givers by choice. They became givers because at some point in their life, they learned that love meant effort, patience, and sacrifice, and endurance. Some people learned early that being strong was necessary. They learned to read emotions before words are spoken. They learned to adjust themselves to keep peace. They learned to be understanding even when they were hurting. And over time, that survivor skill became their identity. They became the one who checks in, the one who listens, the one who shows up, and the one who carries emotional weight without complaining. What people don't talk about enough is how exhausting that becomes. Not the kind of tiredness that sleep can fix, but the kind that lives inside you. The kind where you are present but not fully there. Where you are smiling but something in you feels heavy. Some people praise your strength, but what you really wish is to be held, supported, and understood without having to explain yourself. When you give too much for too long, you start losing touch with your own needs. You know what someone else wants, but when it's your turn to speak, you don't even know where to start. Not because you don't matter, but because you have spent so much time making sure everyone else is okay, that you forgot to check in with yourself. You see, many givers don't know how to receive. Receiving feels uncomfortable. Asking feels like a burden. Rest feels undeserved. So they keep going. They keep showing up. They keep doing more, hoping one day it will balance out. Hoping one day someone will notice without being asked. Hoping love will eventually meet them at the same level they have been given. And there is a quiet loneliness that comes with that. You can be surrounded by people and still feel unseen. You can be appreciated and still feel unsupported. You can be loved for what you do, but not truly heard for who you are. And that realization can hurt in ways that you are held to put into words. At some point, everything shifts. You start craving peace more than intensity. You start valuing calm more than excitement. You realize that chaos was never passion. It was just familiarity. And you began to understand that love shouldn't feel like survival. It shouldn't feel like constant effort. It shouldn't require you to shrink, overextend, or disappear to keep it alive. Healing from overgiving doesn't happen overnight. It's subtle. It's learning to pause before saying yes. It's allowing yourself to say no without guilt. It's noticing when your body tenses and asking why. It's letting people sit with their own emotions without rushing to fix them. It's choosing rest without explaining yourself. There's also grief in this process. Grief for the younger version of yourself who carry too much. Grief for the relationships where you tried harder than you should have. Grief for the love you gave freely that wasn't returned in the same measure. And that grief doesn't mean you regret loving. It means you are becoming more honest with yourself. As you grow, you start understanding that peace is not boring. Peace is regulated. Peace is safety. Peace is not wondering where you stand. Peace is not chasing reassurance. Peace is not constantly proving your worth, and once you experience that, your standards change naturally. Not because you are asking for too much, but because you are no longer willing to accept what drains you. You don't become cold in this process. You become clear. You stop loving deeply. You just stop pouring into places that can't hold you. You save your energy for spaces, where it can grow, where it's returned, and where it's respected. And one of the most freely realization is this: the people who truly care about you won't disappear when you stop overgiving. They won't punish you for resting. They won't make you feel guilty for having needs. And if some people fade when you stop doing everything, that is painful, but it's also clarity. It shows you who was attached to your effort, not to your presence. There comes a quiet moment when you stop trying to be understood by everyone, not because you have given up on connection, but because you have finally understood yourself. You stop questioning whether you are asking for too much. You realize your needs were never excessive. They were simply unmet. And at this stage, you value consistency more than wealth. You value more people. You value how people make you feel after conversations, not how intense things are in the beginning. You choose environments where your nervous system can rest. You began to feel softer, lighter, more like yourself again. And if you are not there yet, that is okay. Growth isn't linear. Some days you will feel strong. Other days you will feel tender. But both are allowed. Both are allowed. Both are part of healing. Awareness alone is already movement. So if this message reached to you today, take it gently with you. You don't have to change everything at once. Just start by honoring yourself a little more than you did before. You deserve relationships that feel mutual, safe, and kind. You always did.